Waffle House or Cracker Barrel, bro? Which one?
Oh, Waffle House. How is that a hot
Okay.
take? Waffle House. What?
Of
There
course,
are
of
people
course.
going to Cracker Barrel of their own volition? Like
Yeah, don't go in there.
there are black people going to Cracker, like
They're
they're
they in
going to
there.
Cracker
They're in
Barrel?
there. They might be up here,
Absolutely
up
not.
north. Cam Proctor with Big Gold Bell Media. Today we are here with award-winning author, motivational speaker, and influencer Tony Weaver Jr. How's it going today, man?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Glad, good, man. Glad to talk to you today. We missed you at SDCC 2025, but I'm glad to talk to you here right now. How was the experience for you while you were there? And that was your first time?
I was my first time at
Okay,
San Diego Comic-Con as a actual comics person, if
okay,
that makes sense. I attended at some point prior to the pandemic, trying to look around and just get a lay of the land, understand
right,
what's happening. But
right.
this is my first time where it's like, oh, there are random parties happening, and I'm on the guest list for those. There are panels, and my name is
Yeah,
on them. Oh, I get to like actively participate, and that was
right.
new for me.
Yeah, no. It was really cool. I think I saw you for a second, and I only saw the top of your hat at Blurred and Bougie Party for like a second, and I was like, I think
Oh, I was having a great time. I was having a
it
great
was it
time.
was a good party, right? Yeah,
At the Blurred and Bougie party. That was such an interesting scenario
I
because I mean,
know.
like the DJ was doing what they were supposed to do. The vibes were cool,
Yeah,
and then you turn and you're like, oh, that guy works at Nickelodeon. And then I think
right,
Evan Narcisse was there, and I was like,
right.
Evan Narcisse is here.
I
It
know,
just
I
turned
know.
up.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so crazy the people you'll see and you mix and mingle with. I think the year before that they had like everyone from Prime. So I you were like bumping into everyone from The Boys and all these other shows and stuff, which is really cool. So yeah, it's really great. So let me get down to business. So recently you launched the Nerds for Literacy initiative, which has
Yes.
grabbed national attention to get 10,000 books into the hands of children in underserved and underfunded schools and is currently to date at the amount of $57,000, man. Congratulations on that, man.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
of course. Of
It's
course.
it's humbling because I think the idea for Nerds for Literacy, our goal is we want to put 10,000 books into the hands of kids at underfunded schools and libraries.
Right.
And for me, I've been trying to do work like that by myself. I've kind of been working with brands and getting them to make donations. I've been going into my own pocket making donations, but the need is so large. My thought was this isn't something that I can do alone.
Right.
But when making the announcement, I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't think we were gonna get the traction that we got.
Right.
There was a huge part of me that was like, we're gonna launch this, and 2 days in, we're gonna have like $80.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Um, like if you look at like our goal is $100,000, but if you look at the first, when we first put it up, the goal that we put was $10,000 because someone
Mhm.
told me they were like, if you have a smaller goal, people will feel more inclined to donate than if you have like your larger goal up front, so you can adjust the milestones as you go. And I
Right.
said, we're gonna put 10,000 because I'm gonna be really embarrassed when 48 hours in, we're at like $80 out of
Right. Yeah.
$100,000. So we
Yeah.
ended up clearing that 10,000 in the first day.
Wow,
Um,
that's amazing.
Seeing how my community has showed up is deeply, deeply humbling.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. And as a side note, with corporations like I'm sorry, like Corporations for Public Broadcasting,
Yeah.
CPB, why can't I get that right? Being disfunded, like PBS, and I know we both probably grew up on PBS,
I was a
something to watch.
Sagwa guy. That was my
Okay, all right.
show.
I'm a
I,
Arthur guy.
okay,
So
okay, okay,
I'm
okay.
Arthur and Magic School Bus. That was me on Fox. So I was back and
So
forth on those.
you get some Sagwa, you get some Dragon
Yeah.
Tales, you
Yeah, you
get
get.
Cyber
See,
Chase.
I feel old now, man, because I started throwing Wishbone out there, and people are like, "What's Wishbone?" And I'm like, "You, all right, never mind. I'll be quiet." With shows like that being defunded and not being around anymore, how more important does that make Nerds for Literacy right now?
I think Nerds for Literacy is really important because of the lack of reading resources that kids have access to, but also in the way that institutions are kind of falling apart.
Yep.
So, I made a video about the Corporation for Public Broadcasting shutting down and how that was impacting PBS. And I got a lot of pushback, a little bit from like people that are like, I'm on your side, but I want to make sure that we're clear. PBS Kids isn't shutting down,
Right, right,
right?
right, right.
And PBS put out that video where they're like, we're still here. We
Yeah,
need donations now more than ever. And I was kind of in the background, like PBS Kids still exist,
right.
but local PBS stations that aren't in places where they get funding are not going to have access. So, like PBS Kids exists, but
Right.
PBS as the nationally supported network where kids, no matter their zip code or community, can get access to the thing, that is falling apart.
Right.
That's collapsing.
Right.
And it's like all we have to do, or all an oppositional force need to do, is say, well, PBS Kids still exists, but it's not being subsidized. We're going to subsidize something that tells the kids what we want them to know, or
Right.
something that makes the kids think what we want them to think.
Yeah.
And suddenly you've got a negative infrastructure in place. So I think the work that Nerds for Literacy is doing is important, but
Hmm.
I also want to acknowledge that it is a part of a larger ecosystem of people that are trying to do good. I don't in any
Yeah.
way believe that we are suddenly the end all be all solution for
Right.
everything. I just think we have a part to play, and I want us to play our part well.
Yeah. Yeah, no, no. I definitely think it's something for a lot of people to back. And I have older kids and I have younger kids too. And I see, the lack in schools there are of librarians or,
Mhm.
just that extra need for guidance in school. So no, I think that's amazing, man. So being a black kid growing up in Atlanta, right? How did you find your style, bro? Like you're so different. You're so unique. And if I see you in the crowd, I know it's Tony, right? I know it's you. We're not gonna mix you up with anybody else. And I actually watched a video where you talked about how you got the Mountain Lady hat, right? From
Mhm.
Washington, D.C. when you lived in this area.
Mhm.
But how did you find, your style and the support system that was there to help you through it?
I think a lot of this falls on Tony Weaver Sr. Um,
Okay.
a joke that I tell is that I didn't understand the definition of the word match for a
Hmm.
really long time
Right, right.
because my dad, our like bonding time is that we go shop. Like we go to the mall and my dad would take me to Macy's and J.C. Penney. We walk through and my dad would be like, I like that shirt, but they got the price is too high on it right now. We're gonna come back in a few weeks. They're gonna give it to me for 50% off.
Yeah.
And we come back and the shirt would be on the clearance section, and he'd be like, "What I tell you? You just gotta wait." But my dad would see a shirt and he'd be like, "This shirt would really match with these pants." And for him, match means like goes well with,
Right,
right?
right,
So
right,
you know how like in the TV shows where the romantic interest he try to be all cute and stuff, and he'd be
right.
like, I think that sweater really matches your eyes.
Yeah.
Right?
Stephon.
Me,
Stephon.
I said that to a girl. I was like, I think that shirt really matches your eyes. And she was like, my eyes are nowhere near the color of this shirt. And I was like, oh, is that what match
That
me?
that's what that
I
means.
had no idea. But my dad is certainly a fashion person. He likes putting outfits together and color coding.
Yeah.
So I think I pick up a lot of that. I'm a little more experimental than him. There's some stuff
Okay.
I'll put on where he'll be like, you got it, but I
Yeah.
wouldn't do it.
It's
Like
all
even my
yours.
hat, right? He's like,
Yeah.
it works for you. So
Right.
specifically, but there's something that gets me really excited about walking down a path that only I can walk, right?
Yeah.
I don't think that anybody is inherently better than another person. I don't think I'm better than anybody, but
Right.
I do think there are things that I can do that only I can do. And
Yeah.
there's something very cool about standing in that individuality, whether it's the way that I dress, the people I spend time with, the actions that I make, the content that I put out. I
Hmm.
find that I have the most fun when I'm in my lane
Right.
specifically.
Right. No, no, no. You definitely do you well, man. Like nobody, obviously nobody does you like you, but
I'm trying.
shout out to Senior, man, for
Yeah.
coasting you the way to get there, honestly.
Yeah.
And to talk about individuality and also feelings and, what type of state you're in. I believe I watched a video with you on TED Talk, which is at College Park, University of
Yeah.
Maryland. Shout out to Terps. DMV area. I'm actually from the DMV area, so shout out to
Okay.
them. But you stated that you found solace in the idea of heroes, right? Extraordinary person with the power to create change. Have you ever felt like an anti-hero? Because like sometimes you got to ruffle some feathers, to get what you
Yeah.
want sometimes.
I think making content at this point in like kind of where we are in society has really forced me to get clear on my core values. And for me, I believe in positivity. And a lot
Mhm.
of people say that, like a lot of content creators
Right.
say that. They're like, yeah, I want my page to be a positive place. But the core belief that I have is that positivity is the absence of negativity. So if I walk into a space and the negative thing is already there, I can't just set up shop in my like positive lounge chair and be like, all right, we're being positive, even though if you look at every other square foot of the room, it's negative. We
Right.
got some cleaning up to do. I got to put on that little backpack like Super Mario Sunshine.
Right.
We got to get rid of the grime and the sludge. The only way that we can actually have a positive place is if we are willing to talk about the negative things, where they come from, and figure out how we're going to work through this stuff. And that leads my content. And I
Mhm.
do feel like an anti-hero sometimes because it's easy to say, "Oh, I'm just not going to address the elephant in the room." And I'm
Right.
like, "No, we need to discuss it. We need to talk about it because if we can break things down to the reasoning and core cause for what's happening, we can shift things in a way that people don't have to deal with this stuff anymore. And
Yeah.
ultimately, I think that should always be the goal."
Yeah. Yeah. No, no, I completely agree. I feel like when I say ruffle feathers, I always feel like you're not like shaking the tree trying to make people angry. You're just like telling them, the reason why people are sometimes probably feeling the ways that they are. And the problem is that they don't address their actual issues, and that just causes more issues. And then
Yeah.
everyone's just pointing the finger and trying to take jabs at whatever, people are not really on board with, I guess you could say.
I'm
Um,
really passionate about having conversations about negativity in the nerd community
right,
because I was almost the negative nerd. Like
right.
if you look at my origin story and what I was dealing with when I was younger,
Mhm.
so it's like dealt with a bunch of bullies, attempted suicide. You could easily write a version of that story where I end up as the guy that's like, "Oh, I don't date black women. They picked on me because I like anime, and now everybody wants to act
Right,
like anime. It's cool. These girls don't really like anime." You can very easily take my starting point and make a very convincing path to get there. But I
right,
didn't get there because there were people in my life that cared about me and believed in me enough to, number
right.
one, smack me on the back of the head when I was saying something stupid, but
Yeah,
also show me a different path. So for me, I'm like, listen, I'm speaking directly to that kid who's in college right now, telling everybody that he don't date black girls because black girls don't understand him, and
right,
he's gonna go to Japan and find an Asian woman because Asian women are more submissive and do blah blah blah.
right.
I need that guy
Yeah,
to hear me so
yeah,
I can let him know, hey, that arc that you're on is not going to get you where you're trying to go. You got to
right,
deal with what's going on in here. You got to break that down. You got to go talk to somebody and process those feelings and those emotions so you stop hating yourself. Because the
right,
hate that you have for your own people is just the hate that you have for yourself externalized. I need you to love you. And that's
right.
going to show up in the way you treat people that are like you. And those are hard conversations to have.
Yeah,
I feel like we got to have them because if we don't, there's some random manosphere podcaster right now. It's going to be like, I can teach you how to get back at all the black women that told you no, as long as you pay $12 and subscribe to my Patreon or my Substack. And I can't have that. I
right.
can't let those people win.
Yeah, no, I feel like I know or I've heard of about five of those people that you just talked about. That's crazy. Um and I feel like it's a great path to go, as far as trying to heal the world with love opposed to trying to heal them with hate at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Um so let's talk about the graphic novel Weirdo, the graphic novel memoir actually Weirdo. So it's the nerdy's kids instruction manual for self-love and self-confidence. So with the first book doing so well, right? Award winning, I mean, pushed all over the place. What is the status of the current sequel for this novel or this graphic novel right now?
So the sequel's being illustrated right now. What's
Mhm.
really interesting is that I wrote Weirdo 2 shortly after I finished writing Weirdo 1.
Right,
And we had been working on it in a way where it could come out pretty close after Weirdo 1 came out. But
right.
so much stuff started happening in the world, specifically around how kids were impacted by distance learning,
Mhm.
this kind of rise of chat GPT sneaking into every classroom, schools making kids turn their phone in when they walk in. Um, I wrote Weirdo 2, and we were in the process of making it, and I stopped and I was like, I don't think it's the book that they need right now. I don't
Yeah,
think the book that I wrote when I wrote it encompasses the things that they need to hear right now.
right,
I need to pause. Give me a second.
yeah,
Let me go back to the manuscript. Let me move some stuff around. Let me update some character arcs. Let me shift and change some things. I think Weirdo 1 has this opportunity to be universal. no
Mhm.
matter what time you pick it up. Weirdo 2, I leaned into some things that I felt like were time sensitive that
Right.
no longer feel relevant for where we are right now. So I'm
Right.
like, we got to make some shifts and some tweaks. And the publisher's been really supportive in making in allowing that to happen. I think when it does come out, it's going to be worth the wait.
Yeah. No, no, no. I'm really excited about it. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people at home are really excited to finally get it whenever it comes out, though. And that kind of gets to my next question, as far as the writing process, right? After you wrote one, you were kind of straight into two. Are
Yep.
you already kind of into three, or are you like you kind of just kind of slow? Did you slow it down a bit, or are you still kind of looking towards that one?
So without breaking any NDAs or going
Okay, yep, we don't
or
want to do that.
making
Don't
any
want to do
announcements,
that.
uh, I have 6 books that are under contract right now.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Okay.
So I'm writing a lot.
Yeah.
And those are just books. That doesn't include film and TV, wink, wink. So
Give me another question, but go for it. Yeah.
uh, I have a fantasy series called The Dream Frontier that I'm hard at work for that's being illustrated right now.
Okay.
Um, and I also have another series that hasn't been announced yet that I feel really good about. But I'm writing all the time. Stories are how I process my feelings, stories are how I speak to people. I think as a writer, writing is how I process this universally human desire to be understood.
Right.
And there's always something that I want people to understand about
Yeah.
me, about the world, about my people, about the communities that I get the chance to be a part of. And writing is always the way that I'm able to do that. So
Yeah.
I'm writing all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. So like I just random. I used to write music. So with me to write good music, you have to go through something sometimes,
Yep.
to be able to have that experience. Is it the same way for you for your writing as well? Like is it mainly your experiences that you're putting on paper or a little bit of both?
So Weirdo is a memoir that's
Right.
like 95% of what happened in Weirdo happened to me in real life in the
Right.
exact way that it happened in the book. We changed some things, but for the most part, it's directly real life.
Right.
Weirdo 2 takes a bit more of a fantastical approach. There are
Okay.
things that are like based on real events, but not
Okay.
inherently, hey, it happened exactly like this.
Right.
And everything that I've written beyond that, it's all rooted in a feeling, a
Right.
thing that's happened to me, something that I've experienced, something that I've walked through. I've had ideas where I've said, actually, I love this idea. I don't know that like it's like when you're in an RPG
Hmm.
and you walk into a certain area and it says this level is recommended for people level 50 or higher, and you're level 41,
What?
like,
Let me try it out.
I don't
See?
think this is my area yet.
Yeah.
I've had some ideas where I'm like, this is a great idea. You're not the Tony you need to be to write that yet.
Right.
There are core things that about the world and about other people, about different cultures that you
Hmm.
don't understand yet. Write it down and we'll come back to it. And some of those ideas I've gotten the opportunity to come back to, and I'm like, now's the time.
Yeah.
Now it's ready.
Another level.
So I think the best writing is the stuff that you write when you're going through something.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And I think I got to check out a little bit of the graphic novel before I got to talk to you today. And I think the one part that really connected with me the most was the time where you're remembering your grandmother and all the things she had to go through, right? And I don't know, is that you think that's a cultural thing for us, like as African Americans, that we think about the ones that came before us because we know it was hard and it was a struggle? Or do you think that's a universal thing for everybody?
I think if you are below a certain income bracket,
Yeah. Okay.
you
Yep.
know that sacrifices had to be made
Hmm.
for you to get here.
Yep.
I think for the Black community in particular, those sacrifices look different.
Yeah.
Um, and we owe it to ourselves and the people that came before us to make sure that we don't forget those sacrifices and exactly what they look like. So for me, for example, you think about my grandma, lunch lady in the public school system
Hmm.
for over 30 years. My dad worked intense physical labor since he was probably 16 years old.
Yeah.
So when I get to wake up and walk into my office with my bookshelf and sit in front of my fancy lights and talk into a microphone and make money,
Yeah.
um, that was earned that was earned on the back of my father's physical well-being.
Yeah.
My father had to work graveyard shift for decades to
Yeah.
allow me to wake up and walk into a room and talk into a camera. And I think we owe it to ourselves to remember that.
Yeah.
You can't leave that stuff behind. Those are your roots. And for my grandma in particular, I think about her every day.
Hmm.
And I think it grounds me in a way that helps me maintain integrity in anything that I do.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I completely agree. And I think that's why it probably touched me so much because I remember being young and being in school and getting a bad grade and either hearing it from my parents and then me going back thinking like, oh, my grandma's not gonna say anything, but I can always think about, what they had to strive to do to even
Yep.
get me in this position right here too. So,
Yep.
yeah, it was beautifully written though, honestly. So being an influencer, right, on TikTok, doing reels, and I would say one of the biggest faces in the Black nerd community. What is it like on a day to day putting together videos? Like, how is it hard finding new content, or is there always like something to grab at on a day to day basis?
I think number one, I'm humbled. I'm trying to get there. One of the premier faces of the Black nerd community. I don't know. I want to be, but I think about people that I really respect, like
Mhm.
RDC World, King
Right,
Vader, Caleb City, Cleo Thomas, who I've like had the opportunity to like become friends with and
right,
speak to. I think I'm always trying to push higher and higher. But to me, making content isn't difficult because I know what I stand for and what I want people to know. There
right,
have been certain segments of my kind of time as an influencer where a lot of what I'm doing is relatively reactionary, where
right,
something will happen and I'm reacting to this thing, or news will break and I'm talking about this news. But I think beyond that, I have a clear understanding of what I stand for and what I want people to know. And as long as I'm in my lane, the question is just, what's the thing that only you can do? And
right.
suddenly I'm on the streets of New York freestyling about the fact that I can't get access to Pokemon cards due to scalpers. You know, it's
Yeah,
like, what's the thing that only Tony can do? And
right.
suddenly I'm making youth literacy related parodies of Megan the Stallion songs.
Yeah,
Uh,
that was good.
it's
That was really good, by the way. So,
it's that as long as I stay in my lane, it's easy.
yeah, yeah. No, no, no. And I was gonna ask you, by the way, so you did you did do the rap about the Pokemon cards, right? What made you pick the drill? The drill beat? Was that like where you were like, hey, this might be easiest to just get on, or it's like it's a stagnant, slow, like, progression as far as music.
Drill gives me time to think.
It does.
Because like freestyling is very difficult. When
Yeah, yeah.
I write things down and
Right.
I'll sit and stare at it and go move and tinker. But a freestyle is like, no, you did what you got. And
Yeah.
my brain's just not slated to
Yeah,
work
no,
that way.
no. I
If you
um
put me on like some like boom bap or something where it's like flowing, it's
yeah,
go,
yeah,
go, go, go,
yeah.
go. Or even if you look at like a lot of trap beats, even
Hmm.
even if the cadence is just
Yeah, it's not much pause. It's not much pause in there.
it's like, no, I can't do it, bro.
Yeah,
I
no.
the
No.
drill gives me a little, it gives me like a little
Little
room to
space.
think.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
need
no.
that or else it all falls apart. It
No,
all,
no, no. It worked out though. And I didn't realize it until I'm watching. I'm like, oh, okay, that's this you can easily throw through here. You can read a book,
yeah,
and really it'd fit on there. Llama Llama Red Pajama can fit on drill at this point.
yeah.
Um, but so another video I actually watched is you were talking to the group of kids with Matt Owens,
Yeah,
right? The showrunner
for One
as
Piece.
well as producer or writer
Well,
for
all of the above.
all the above for
Yeah.
the One Piece live action series on Netflix. Um, how did you set that kid up, man? Like, because he
Like
like he walked right into it. Let's
like
be honest.
he had something to say.
Yeah, I was
Like
like, be
literally,
quiet, be quiet, young man.
he had something to say. That was entirely him.
Okay.
That was entirely him. I didn't say it's that at all.
Yeah.
He had some things to say, and I'm like, the whole time before we walked in, I told Matt, I was like, now listen, these kids,
Kids are mean. You
they
gotta.
gonna say how they
Yeah.
feeling.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
don't know, and they don't know who you are. They don't.
Yep.
We were just
Yeah.
talking about anime in general,
Hmm.
and he's like, One Piece is mid. I need the people to know how I feel. I have watched all the way to Gear 5 though.
Right.
I do want to play Kaido though, but One Piece is mid. I'm like,
Right.
oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, man, you talk about putting your foot in your mouth at that one. And he just like was like, ah. By the oh well, I mean I do like it though. Be like, you already said it was mid, man. It's too late now.
It's like it's
And
already
everybody was getting
happening.
them too. The whole crowd, all the kids.
Yeah.
But no, that's crazy. So I guess what is the well, we already know, I mean, you're working on the books as well as possible animation. But what is your next big step? What do you want to do next or see? Or what I mean, everybody has a goal for themselves, but what's your goal for Tony?
I think for me, the thing that keeps me going is I need young people to love themselves.
Mhm.
And for me, stories are how I was able to build that self love,
Right,
which is why I'm passionate about getting stories into the hands of kids. Whether it's books that I'm writing like Weirdo or initiatives like Nerds for Literacy that are putting books into kids' hands, I think I'm always going to be thinking about how can I help the next generation become the best versions of themselves.
right.
Nerds for Literacy has been getting a lot of love. We're around $55,000 right now. We still got a bit to go to 100,000, but I feel like we can reach it. And I'm curious about what it looks like to get other community members involved
Yeah,
in Nerds for Literacy. Um, so I think that's where a lot of my passion is right now because even now at like $50,000, there is a lot of cool stuff that we are going to get to do, and I'm really excited for that community impact to happen. I'm
yeah,
just thinking, how do we scale it?
yeah, yeah. No. Definitely makes sense. So for my last question,
Yeah.
this is a hot take, okay, for
Okay.
the Black community.
Okay.
Waffle House or Cracker Barrel, bro? Which one?
Oh, Waffle House. How is that a hot
Okay.
take? Waffle House. What? There are
Of
people
course.
going to
We
Cracker Barrel of their own volition? Like
yeah, don't go
they're
in
actually
there.
there are black people going to Cracker like they're
They in
going to
there.
Cracker
They're in
Barrel?
there. They might be up here,
Absolutely
up
not.
north, but
I
mm,
am from Atlanta,
yeah.
Georgia, and I feel safer in the Waffle House where they fight each other than I feel in a Cracker
Oh
Barrel.
yeah. Them Waffle House, man, you get a show and food. That's the best part most of the time.
Every Cracker Barrel that I've been to, it feels like the lady from Get Out is going to bring me a cup of tea while
Yep.
I'm sitting there. Every
Serves
Waffle
yourself.
House that I would rather an all-star breakfast, hands down, at
Yeah.
any time.
It's
Substitute grits for extra hash browns, smothered and covered with the blueberry waffle, egg scrambled with cheese. Don't play with me.
yeah.
That's I'm ready.
That was an easy answer then.
Yeah,
er,
entirely.
Everybody at home, make sure you get your copy of the graphic novel memoir, Weirdo, a Nerdy Kid's Instruction Manual for Self-Love and Self-Confidence, available now on Amazon and wherever books are sold, as well as make sure you go check out and donate to Nerd Literacy to get 10,000 books into the hands of children in underserved and underfunded schools all over nerdliteracy.com. Tony,
Nerds for literacy.
for
Nerds
literacy,
for
sorry.
literacy.com.
Nerdsforliteracy.com. Don't mess that up. We're gonna put the link right down bottom. Tony, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me today, bro. I wish you nothing but the best, man.
Thank you.
Thank you.